decrease from our FY12 spending. Because 90% of our budget is allocated to the running of facilities, these cuts and the decline in population require that we close facilities. We have to make changes to address today's budget reductions while keeping in mind the department's long-term vision of a more effective, rehabilitative, and therapeutic system that is able to meet the needs of the large percent of our youth that are admitted with under-resolved mental health issues, substance abuse issues, maltreatment issues, and also trauma issues. We also note that 17 other states have closed more than 50 juvenile facilities in the past 4 years, and that these states have not seen an uptick in juvenile crime rates. California, for instance, between 1996 and 2010, California reduced their population by 85%. Juvenile crime rates during that time also declined during the period of de-incarceration. Texas, between 2006 and 2010, reduced its population by over half, while juvenile arrests fell by 10%. This rehabilitative, therapeutic system must not only take into account internal programs of each of our facilities, but also the facility plant environment of facilities, such as physical structure and location of reception and classification centers. For instance, Harrisburg down south is a reception and classification center, and St. Charles up north. To move our vision forward, DJJ's, or Department of Juvenile Justice FY13 budget, incorporates a rebalancing of services and also programming. A 2009 analysis of over 309 studies concluded that therapeutic intervention philosophy produced an average improvement in recidivant rates of 12%. Programming that centers on discipline yielded negative results in terms of discipline. These programs are also a huge cost saving to the state. Nationwide, community-based programs average between $6,000 and $9,000 per youth, whereas typical stay in juvenile facility is on an average $70,000 for between 9 and 12 months. In FY13, we will continue to build on programs that make evidence-based practice or takes evidence-based practice into account, such as Cook County's aftercare pilot and the step-down program at Pierre Marquette. And each of these programs, they are pilot, but we are having them validated by research and studies and evaluation by Chief and Hall and the University of Chicago. We believe that DJJ's FY13 budget approach and underlying strategy take into account the multiple dynamics of juvenile justice reform by these points. Continue to run 6 secured facilities across the state of Illinois, from St. Charles to the north to Harrisburg in the south, providing ongoing professional development to our staff to help ensure they have access to new information and techniques. And then moving to a continuum of care that leverages evidence-based, cost-effective approaches that provide the support youth need in their communities to help them be successful. I thank you for your time and welcome any questions that you may have.
Thank you very much. Would you like to take the questions? I think we'll take them now as we go on. Senator Murphy.
You want to borrow the chair, it's like you don't take it. Director, thank you for your testimony, and frankly, I agree with a lot of what you have in there. As I look at the numbers on Joliet and some of the other facilities in the area, and you mentioned St. Charles being a reception hub. My biggest concern with the proposal that you have is that these are maximum security individuals at Joliet then it's my understanding your plan will have them being spread out to differing other DJJ facilities if Joliet is closed. Is that accurate?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, are there any maximum security caliber offenders at any of those other facilities now?
Yes, we have max security youth down in Harrisburg and in our receptive and classification center at St. Charles. Youth are classified at St. Charles, Harrisburg, for the females and Warrenville. And it's during that time that youth security level, let's say, are determined. There are several factors that go into determining the youth classification. And it's about 4 different categories, whether that be violent, crime race, other types of issues. So the classification level is determined at those specific receptive and classification centers. So there were youth who are deemed max somewhat good here at St. Charles for a period of time prior to, at this point, being transferred and sent to Joliet.
But, okay, and I understand for that classification period, but thereafter, are there any convicted murderers at any of the other medium security facilities after they have been classified?
Yes, sir. No, they're not.
Excuse me, this is what I mean about maintaining the decorum of the Capitol, please.
They're used adjudicated that may be at St. Charles. So yes, the answer is yes, there are some that may for a moment be at IYC St. Charles.
And is that during the classification period? And under what circumstances would they be at St. Charles after the classification period?
That could be a host of reasons, Senator. Again, the classification process in terms of assessments, in terms of some other type of issue there. So there's not one particular reason that a youth may stay as opposed to the 7 to 14 days and stay more 30 days or more. There are different reasons that can happen. So I think pigeonhole one particular reason.
But in general, the concept of classifying is to put these individuals in an appropriate security level for the facility for the risk that they cause. Is that fair? And I guess I believe we need to close facilities. I think we have to do that. And I share your view on that. That being said, we also have to do it in the way that makes the most sense. And I want to understand, in this instance, we have, as you mentioned, a declining population throughout DJJ. Would it not be easier to utilize some of the space at Joliet, and easier is not the right word, would it not be safer to leave the maximum security, which I presume includes people who have been found guilty of murder and rape, at the maximum security facility, and then tailor the portion that you're not using here at Joliet and allow for some medium security to come over, say maybe from Chicago or maybe from St. Charles, and utilize this space that's already capable of handling maximum security, rather than transferring out maximum security caliber offenders to places that aren't currently trained to handle it.
That makes sense. Well, I have a couple of things. The youth have been charged with these crimes. So that when you say convicted or charged with crimes, then those large sentences, let's say, are waiting for trial determination and either back into the county or some other county.
But obviously, you classify them because of the risk. So thank you for correcting me.
But again, at the end, we're looking at what makes sense to us. And in terms of the long-term vision of the department, we believe in the day, the remaining structures and facilities are more conducive to our long-term plan of having not only a structure that's more rehabilitative in sight and look, environment and ambience